Alright, welcome back everybody to my exploration of the Conjuration tree in Ordinator, the perk overhaul mod. Okay, so between episodes I went and did all the boring stuff as far as selling stuff off, doing my disenchanting, and all that nonsense. I was able to level up a little bit. And I actually did have a run-in with some of my own conjured Atronachs. I was trying to clear them out of the way at Ryek's End. And I decided maybe let's try to use the destruction spells on this to level that up a little bit. And they turned aggressive on me. I was able to dismiss them quite easily with the bound weapon after that. But I did get to level up in both restoration and I think destruction with that too. I also made it back to Colette, and she did finally refresh her stock, her inventory, as far as higher level restoration spells. But I think we only got up to expert on these. I think King's Heart is a master level spell, which I definitely do want to hook up to Alcada's Recital once we get them, because I do want to keep leveling in Restoration and Destruction after 100. But for now, I think this is going to help a lot. So we have Circle of Protection, which is basically a turn undead area of effect spell, which we can hook up to Okado's Recital, and that will help us level up quite a bit, because I don't think it actually has to affect any enemies to level up the skill. Just as long as you cast it in combat, I think it levels up Restoration. So we're going to go ahead and hook that up. I think that's good. Grand Healing heals everyone close to the caster 359 points. I'm not sure if this affects our Daedra and our Atronachs, but we could give it a shot. It can help anyway. Healing Blossom, this is another one. It's kind of like Tree Rings, but it does just healing over time for 10 seconds instead of just kind of healing you a certain amount based on how long the spell's been active. So we can replace Tree Rings with that if we want to. And then just some direct cast stuff that we probably won't be using. And we got this spell tome. This Sleet Storm thing might actually level us. It's a concentration spell, which is good. It seems very high powered. It might actually go through our magicka pools pretty quickly, but it could also progress our destruction skill level faster than the shocks or the spark spells that we have been using. Alright, so that is everything there. Let's go ahead and hook up that stuff to Okado's Recital and refresh that stack a little bit. So we need Okado's Recital in the right hand and nothing in the left hand. That will wipe out everything that we have hooked up to it. And then we need to go in, and Ebony Flesh is a requirement, in my opinion. If for nothing else than the distorted shape that we need. What else do we have in here? I think that was it for Alteration. We need to hook something up to Destruction to help that out. I think we were doing Lightning Cloak. And Restoration. Were we doing Circle of Protection, or were we doing... I think I want to do Circle of Protection, because I think that will level us up faster than Healing Blossom. Just because I think this has to actually heal you in order to progress the skill level. So let's go ahead and hook up Circle of Protection. But I do want to favorite and hotkey the new healing spell, Grand Healing, just because I think that will boost progression a little further than the Close Wounds that we're using here. Keep that up just because I think that's hooked up to a hotkey, and I don't want to have to go through the gamepad ++ MCM to figure out what that hotkey was. Okay, so let's do that. What is close wounds set at? 2. Okay, so we want to set grand healing to 2 instead. And let's just go through and clean up our favorites a little bit here as far as the spells go. Bound Sword is fine. Chain Lightning is good. Close Wounds, we don't need that one. Dimension Door is fine. All this other stuff can be hooked up to the Spell Strike ability. So we're going to keep that. Flames is a concentration spell that we like. Pale Shadow we don't need. And the Vision of the 10th Eye we don't need anymore. Okay, so we do have some new illusion stuff that we can put in there instead of illusory flames. I think Evil Twin would be a good one if we want to level up illusion. So we have that going. And then there was that new destruction spell that was a Sleet Storm. That was a concentration spell. Okay, and that's Frost. Cool. Alright, so what's next? We're going to go ahead and take a look at how we're doing here. Another 2 health we need before stamina. And where are we at with restoration? 97, so we still got a little ways to go. That should be pretty quick, but we are at level 100 for destruction, which is awesome. We're not going to take any more perks because of that. Just because I don't think there's anything up there that we need to take. But that does let us talk to Feralda, once we can find her, and take on the Destruction Ritual quest, which will unlock the master level spells with Feralda, so we can buy all kinds of cool destruction level, or destruction school stuff to be able to either just use directly or hook up to Spell Strike. Oh, that's Drevis. Where are you, Feralda? There she is.
Tolfdir is Master Wizard. And to think Mirabelle questioned my allowing you into the college. I can just imagine the look on her face now.
She questioned that? God damn it. What else is there to be learned about destruction magic?
I dare say you've learned all I can teach you. But that doesn't mean...
What do you mean?
Over the years, I've heard things. This is the only thing I've ever seen. I think it's better off in your hands.
Sweet. Complete the book, Powers of the Element. So, okay, we're going to have to go through and find these different points around Skyrim, I think. But let's see here. It's been so long since I've done this quest that I don't remember exactly how it works. Power of the Elements. Northward, haunted northern coastline. Okay, I'm probably going to have to look these up on the wiki or something. I do know where a few of these are. I don't know where all of them are. Northward, haunted northern coastline. And south, Dwemer, live and toil. A simple place, a shield from draft. At this stand, wield mage's craft. So fierce, the sea will boil. Destruction Ritual spell. Okay. Complete the book, Powers of Enchantment. I should examine the book to see what I can learn. That didn't really give me anything, did it? Power of the Elements. So it's pretty cryptic. There are these points throughout Skyrim, these ritual totems or something like that. I don't remember exactly what they're called. But you need to go through and activate them in order. So that's what we'll be doing this session, I think. And we'll see what kind of destruction spells we can get. Alright, so first thing we need to do is we need to head over to this place called Windward Ruins, which is also a target location for the Kynes token quest for Froki. I think the Guardian Skeever lives here. There are a few other Skeevers there that we can use to fill soul gems at least. But first we got to get the band back together just in case there's something a little more deadly there. So excuse me while I whip these out. Alright, here we go. We got the band back together. Let's go ahead and summon our sword and head over to Windward Ruins. There's a pedestal over there. We need to put this this Power of the Elements book on, and that should progress the quest further. This place is what the book is cryptically hinting at. It would probably take you a while to figure out this is what it was describing, although the description is pretty good in hindsight. Looks like we got another Sky Shard there too. Great. Restoration's already on its way up from that circle of protection there. Okay, here's the pedestal. Let's just go ahead and read through that one more time just so we can see just how descriptive this was. Northward, haunted, northern coastline. So, Sea of Ghosts coastline. We're not really on the coastline, but we're pretty close. And south, Dwemer, live and toil. So south of here, I think there's an entrance or at least an exit to a Dwemer ruin. Mazincha left here. That's got to be it. I mean, it's really more southwest, even more west by southwest, maybe. But all right. A simple place, a shield from draft, so a windward ruin, sort of a protection from the wind there. I get it. All right. At this stand, wield mage's craft, so fierce the sea will boil. So I'm not really sure what I have to do here other than just activate the pedestal. And then what? Cast a destruction spell or something? Let's see if the book actually changed. No. It's got to be something else we do. Maybe destruction? Interesting. Okay, I gotta look this up. Bear with me. Okay, it's a fire spell that we have to cast on this thing. So fierce the sea will boil. I get it, I get it. Flames. There we go. Alright, now that should have changed the book. Here we go, unread now. Under Greybeard's morning shadow, at this northern watch long post, Nern's hoary throat does scrape the sky. Here unleash a chilling cry and gild the stand with frost. Okay, so I think that there is a lookout right down here next to the throat of the world. It might be right here. North Skybound Watch, I'm thinking. Let's try that out. I didn't look at the guide for this. I'm just going off of memory. And doing the whole Da Vinci Code Temple of Doom exploration thing. Okay, now I believe it's in here. Sword's ready because this is a known bandit hideout, but this is there's an interesting NPC here, so he must have taken care of him. We've already been here, haven't we? Oh yeah, that was for the Nettlebane quest for Danica. Okay, so let's plop that down on there, and we're gonna cast a ice spell on it. So we're going for Frostbite. There we go, it worked. Alright, what next? Over Western River waters, by Karth unbounded, south and north. On mountains sits a humble crown. Sky's wrath on this stand bring forth, to shake these snowcaps down. Okay. So there is a place over the rivers in the Reach that has the Karth Mountains on the south and the north of it. On the mountain sits a humble crown, and we're going to put the book down there and cast a lightning spell on it, I think. Let me just take a look at the map real quick before I look at the wiki. See if I can do this on my own first. So the Karth Mountains will be south and... what was it? South and west? Or south and north? South and north. So Karth Mountains to the south and the north. And we're overlooking a river. I don't remember seeing a pedestal at the Sundered Towers here, but maybe. Four Skull Lookout? That seems promising, doesn't it? Let's try that out. Any bad guys here? Sounds like something's going on.
No match at all.
You sold? Invar? Is this my Flame Atronach that they're fighting? How about two of them? Okay, these are named NPCs. That's why I'm hesitant here, because I don't necessarily want to kill somebody that's going to take away a quest or something interesting, you know? Take the Briarheart, though. Yeah, these just look like named Forsworn. I don't know why they're named, though. I don't know if... I'm pretty sure they're added by a mod, because I don't remember this in the vanilla game, that's for sure. There was no dialogue or anything, though. They just attacked us outright, so... Interesting. Okay. Bandits. Well, that's interesting. I think she's dead. Yeah. Okay, yep, here we go. Here's the pedestal. I should just be able to plop the book down and shoot it with some lightning. Is that the last one? Are there any other elements that I'm not thinking of? I thought it was just fire, frost, and lightning, right? Oh, now it's a spell tome. Okay. This is going to give me like Firestorm or something like that. Firestorm, there it is. Okay, that's probably not too useful for us, but we have it now. But more importantly, now we can go back to Faralda and buy some higher level destruction spells that we can hook up to Spellscribe. Alright, do we have a level up? We do indeed. We had one more health before we went to stamina, so we're going to take care of that. Restoration's still lagging a little bit. We have 2 more to get through before we can get 100 on that and take that other perk. But first, let's go to Faralda and see what she has to offer. Okay, here we are back at the college. As you can see up in the upper left-hand corner, I just bought a whole bunch of high-level spells. So let's go ahead and take a look at them here, shall we? Alright, so Apocalypse. Target is assaulted by elemental entities that appear nearby and cast 4 times damage. You know what? I'm just going to learn all of these, and then we're going to look at them in the spell list so that we can see what level they are and whether or not they are 1- or 2-handed spells. If it's a 2-handed master level spell, then we can't hook it up to Spellscribe. If it's a 1-handed spell, we can dual cast it and hook it up to Spellscribe and cast it every time we throw out a power attack. So let's take a look at those. Level. Sort that by level and go through the master level spells that we have now. So Apocalypse is a master level spell. It is one-handed only, which is great. Target is assaulted by elemental entities that appear nearby and cast 4 times damage flames, frostbite, and sparks spells. Last for 10 seconds. Alright, so this almost looks like a Conjuration spell. It's going to... It looks like it summons elemental entities, and they cast the novice level spells at them, but those spells do 4 times damage. But it only lasts for 10 seconds. That's interesting for a conjurer. We might mess around with that a little bit. Let's keep that in mind. I'm actually going to favorite that so that we can hook it up at some point. Blizzard. I think this is the vanilla Frost master level destruction spell. So yeah, that's 2 hands. We're not too interested in that. Just a big ol' ice storm that it conjures up. Cyclonic Rift. This is a one-handed spell, so we can dual cast that. Creates a storm portal for 20 seconds. If 2 portals are active, those approaching either get warped across and take 153 shock damage to health and magicka. This is really, really interesting because this almost acts as a conjuration spell, I would think, because it opens up a portal, which could be a portal to oblivion. And the initial spell doesn't really do any damage, but the second one that you cast creates a second portal, and anybody who runs into those are going to take a lot of shock damage. And it could create a cool effect, so definitely favoriting that. I might hook that up right away too, just because that sounds like a lot of fun to play with. Fingers of the Mountain only works outdoors. It is a one-handed level spell, so okay. Electrifies nearby opponents for 30 seconds. When hit by a shock spell, lightning strikes for 368 damage to health, and half of that to magicka. Only works outdoors. Okay, so if we know we're gonna do an outdoor level or an outdoor area, this is great because we use sparks as our primary destruction damage in our left hand. So if we power attack somebody and they stay alive, and then we hit them with the spark spell, they're gonna get struck by lightning for huge damage. That sounds awesome, but it only works outside. Firestorm, that's the one that we got already. It's a dual cast spell only, so we're not interested in that. Flame Strike. That is a single hand cast spell, so great. A storm of 24 meteoric fireballs rains down from the heavens in a line extending from the caster, each exploding for 490 fire damage. Only works outdoors. Again, amazing to hook up to Spellscribe. Only works outdoors though. So we have some fun stuff to try out when we're outdoors. Forbidden Sun. It is a single hand cast spell. So that's good. Oh, you can only equip it in your left hand too. So that's not good. Let's just look at it. Giant ball of elemental fire that deals 306 points of damage in a wide area on impact. Target struck lose 200 points of fire resist for 4 seconds. Which is good. If you have a fire spell in your right hand, we're not going to be using this because we're probably always going to have a sword in our left hand. Still sounds cool. Frozen Orb. Wait a second here. I can't dual cast some of these. Well, that's a pain, isn't it? Bummer. Never mind then. So let's try this real quick. Let's try Cyclonic Rift. It's not letting me equip that in the second hand. It only lets me cast it in the right hand. I guess that's a nice way of balancing these things out. Alright. Bummer. Okay, let's just go through those again. In the spell menu. Just looking for things that we can dual cast. Firestorm is automatically a dual cast. Takes both hands, but not technically. Lightning Storm is the same. Static Dome, same. Okay. So now we're into expert level spells. So sorry about that. I wasted everybody's time, but it's all in the name of exploration. Now we all know better. Let's unfavorite those. They might be useful as a left-handed spell to use with our spell sword playstyle, but I'm more interested in the spell scribe stuff. Alright, so Volcano. Okay, Bombardment. We can dual cast that. Alright, so a steady stream of exploding projectiles that deals 153 points of damage per second. This looks like a concentration spell, which might be great to cast in our left hand at some point. We won't be able to cast it for free, however, so probably not going to favorite that. Icy Spear, a spear of ice that does 184 points of frost damage to health and stamina. So this only hits, this is a one-time hit. 184 points of damage is pretty good. But I don't know, it doesn't strike me as something that we want to hook up to Spell Scribe. Incinerate, a blast of fire that does 184 points of damage. So again, this is just a single bolt spell. Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike, the target location, dealing 184 shock damage to health and half to stamina. That's kind of awesome. We might try that. Scorching Hands. This looks like a concentration spell again, so no thanks on that. Shattering Crystal creates a crystal of ice. Cast again to detonate the crystal for up to 828 damage to health and stamina, decreasing with distance. This might be cool. That is a two-handed spell though, so we can't use that. Shock Nova, we've already... Oh no, that's new. Radial Shockwave that deals 122 points of damage to health and magicka. Along the edge, take up to 2 times damage. So that's good for people who are kind of around the ring. We can... Or I'm sorry, around a little farther radius from us. We'll go ahead and favorite that. We could use it. Sleet Storm, that's the thing that we were going to try to use as a concentration spell in our left hand. I've changed my mind on that just because it uses up too much magicka, and we need that magicka to act as a force field for us from magic damage. Thunderbolt, that is just a single cast, not really too interested in that. Wall of Flames, sprayed on the ground, it creates a wall of fire that does 50 points of damage per second. That sounds pretty good. But I think it's a concentration spell. It is definitely a concentration spell. Same with the rest of the walls. So those aren't going to be useful for us. Bummer. Alright, Bolide. Meteoric rock that does 76 fire damage. It heats up as it travels, dealing up to 5 times damage based on distance. Alright, we're going to be point blank with these guys, so that's really not too ideal. So really, it looks like aside from our Shock Nova and maybe Lightning Strike here, everything else on Adept is probably our best bet. Yeah, I think that's it. We have Shock Nova now instead of Thundercrack, so we can get rid of that. The novice level spells I do want to keep in the favorites. Alright. Dragon's Teeth is an apprentice level spell. It's a little weaker, so we're not going to use that as much. Alright, I think we're good. We just have to remember to hook some of this new stuff up. So it does look like we got a couple of expert spells that could be interesting here. Not really anything from the magic, the master level. But alright, I think I've chatted your ear off enough. I'm going to end this episode here. It might be a bit of a shorter one this time. Next episode, we are going to focus heavily on restoration, which means going back to the Radiant quests that we were doing an episode ago. We're very close, especially with the Guardian Circle spell that we're casting via Okado's Recital now. That's helping out a lot. We also have the Wolf Queen quest, which has some undead there, which might be useful for that Guardian Circle there. So we should be able to get that up to level 100 just doing that quest. And then we'll head back to the college and see what Colette has as far as master level spells. After we do the ritual quest, of course. Okay, so that does it for me. Thank you again for joining and watching. Hope you're enjoying it as much as I am, learning a ton of stuff. It's a little dry for now, but we do have some exciting, more role-playing, story-driven stuff coming soon. More on that in a bit. But I think that's it for now. Thanks again. See you next time. Until then, take care.